everybody! So we are going to be playing with my Canadian Winter collection from Wild Whisper Designs because I love it. We're going to do some stamping with both sets of stamps from Wild Whisper Designs. And we're going to go ahead and start by grabbing a piece of coconut swirl basil cardstock for our base. I know I'm going to need to do some stamping first, but before I do that, I really want to kind of get the other elements of my page together. So I'm starting with scraps, and I'm going to cut a whole bunch of strips. So these strips are 1 inch by, I think, 10, yes. So these are 1 by 10 strips, and I am using just lots of different patterns from the collection. And then I also grabbed a branding strip from one of the patterns. So I'm kind of setting these up the way I want them to go. I really want them to be like the base for my photo. So this is kind of my plan right here. And then I know that I want to put this strip over to the left of my page. And I'm going to go ahead and use some Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink. So the point of the ink, it's not like it's going to be super visible, but it's going to kind of mask over the white edges on the pattern papers. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some tearaway tape from Spiegel Mom Scrubs. And then I'm going to use that tape to adhere that branding strip down off to the left. So what I want to do now is I want to stamp my title. I know what my title is going to be. I'm going to use Peppermint Scrub, Juniper Mist, and Twilight ink because those match the collection the closest from my personal ink stash. So I am going to use the brush letter stamps and the capital letter stamps. I'm going to mix the fonts up a little bit. And my title is going to be Totally Up to Snow Good. This is definitely a labor of love going ahead and stamping out these titles. I couldn't use my Missy because the brush letters, they are meant to be kind of overlapped a little bit. So you have to stamp one and then you have to stamp the other. And it was way, way easier for me to use the Misty Matte, which gives me the pressure and kind of like that little bit of give that you need. And instead of opening and closing the door. So I just used the base of the Misty, my ginormous one, and my acrylic blocks and kind of used my head to line it all up and get it onto the page. So once I have that title done, ready to go, I can go ahead and put my stamps back, clean them all up, and go back to my layout, which will have more stamping, but first I want to get the die cut elements and some of the other elements on the page before I decide where the rest of the stamps are going to go. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. All right, so I pulled a snowflake stamp from my stash, just a simple snowflake stamp. Probably if you are a stamper and you live somewhere that has winter, you probably have a snowflake stamp hanging around. So just grab one of those. I grabbed a set that had just a couple little snowflakes on it. And so I'm using it around my title because I mixed my fonts. There's a bit of a gap around. And so I thought, well, adding in some different colored snowflakes would kind of put that gap, And I swear I did stamping later on after I was done with some of the other elements on the page. I don't remember. Anyway. Obviously, you get to find out along with me what I did. I'm going to go ahead and just definitely add snowflakes around the title now because I really want to be able to kind of fill in some of those gaps that occurred because of just the way the stamps lined up and how my title went. I went ahead and added a mat to my photo, and now I'm adhering those strips down as straight as I can make them with my crooked eye. Exactly where I want them. Okay, and now I'm going through the ephemera pack and I'm just trying to decide how I want my clusters to be. I'm going to end up using things that don't necessarily have anything to do with my photo. This is just my oldest son. I got him to get all dressed up and go outside when we had our first big storm this year, so I could snap and get at least one snowy photo. And then he actually ended up going out with all of our dogs, so I actually have enough photos to do more than one page. Yes! When you have teenage boys, that is a win-win, let me tell you. I am going to pop up this little coffee cup, and I'm going to add these little snowshoes and just create a couple of little clusters with the die cuts on my page. I had thought about a couple of images from the Canadian winter stamp set, but in the end, I just decided I was loving the snowflakes, and so I'm going to just grab those snowflake stamps that I used around my title, and I'm going to sprinkle them around different spots on my layout. Once I had everything where I thought it would be stamped-wise, so when I had all those Twilight and red and blue snowflake stamps where I like them, I'm going to go through the die cut pack one more time, see what maybe I can find. I'm going to find a couple. I'm going to use this little like ski mask. And then this die cut had like ski thing going on, and I didn't like the words. I didn't mind the ski. Wow, what is the ski poles? I didn't mind the ski poles or the mask or the hat, or like that was totally fine. But it said like mountain ski club, so I just cut those parts off. And I'm gonna layer those up together there. And then the last little set of die cuts I'm going to use are these kind of hockey ice skates, and I'm just going to pop them down, all winter related, and this is just a winter fun layout. So I'm going to get those die cuts down where I like them. And I went in with some chalk white Nuvo stone drops and added some little drops all around the page. This just added a lot of tone on tone texture, really fun. This layout, I will tell you now, was super hard to photograph because there's so much contrast on it, but it looks beautiful in person. I'm really, really happy with it, and it looks pretty good on camera too, but when I went to photograph it like that bright, and then those dark blues, it was a bit challenging. Let's say challenging. But that's going to complete this one for today. If you want to pick up the Canadian Winter Collection at Wild Whisper Designs, you absolutely can. You can use my code and the link, which will both be down below, and you can grab yourself a set of this fabulous collection. Look at those coffee cups. I love the colors. All right, everyone, have a fabulous Monday. See you again soon. Bye.